all I do it. So then we left to go silent, and for Hannah we completed.
If you haven't created problems, I feel bad for you, son. 1,000 problems, but I can't rank one. Wills for sure, got me back in the car. Lisa, with my credit, I was like, man, forget it. Who would have thought I'd be accepted and more? But now I got the keys, I feel so pleased. All types of cars, Fiats, Minis, Renaults, you know, boom, boom, let's go. Wills for sure, car leasing for every credit score.
Emil.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning, good afternoon, good day, whichever we day. My name is Alusine MacFoy. This is now all out politics coming from Diaspora Voices. At the studio today, we get Mr. Ahmed Alusine Sesay. We get a special guest on Mr. Claude Kajuga for coming. We get Mr. Thonkla Bangura. Then we get Mr. Abdul Din. We go join me. Today we supposed to do the part 3 of the End the Silence, Start the Conversation theme, but we get an event will supersede than the Paolo Conteh event. But before that, now I apologize on behalf of the guests them, Miss Josephine Kamara and Mrs. Faith Okafor Smart. We're not able to make today. We're not able to make today program because of scheduling problem. But then hopefully next week Monday, we'll do the program again. They will come for local continue the theme, end the silence, start the conversation, put an end to sexual violence. So once again, thank you, I know we don't come on board with listeners then. Mr. Ahmed Sesay.
Yes. Fambule una ado. We want to tell thank you once more for Ona to take part in this program, and also just like we me co-panelists say, we want to apologize once more for the late start and the absence of some members, but then we'll catch up. Like today, like as he said earlier, there are key issues that more we need for discourse with regards to the just concluded the treason trial and perhaps other pending cases. We'll analyze the verdict with Engi, whether I should not see the topic, whether it's actually the people's verdict or it belongs to the executive. As again, when the breaking news, we can say you had it here first at Diaspora Voices that the Attorney General, Attorney General has been sacked. So we don't know why she got the X, but so far we go know as the program unfold. So they entertain our views, comments, and analysis as we go along. As we say, other members and don't join we as well, and then they go introduce themselves. But in the meantime, we want to tell thank you. Feel free for comments. We reading a comment as you know, as the program they go, we make sure say we even include on the debates. As usual, we read on our comments, we debate on our comments, and perhaps on our comments, and they change the dynamics of the show. So please feel free for participate, and we want to thank you. It's a very sensitive topic. It better make you get a good forum for debate your views, for espouse your views, where the world go know how you stand on this matter. And then as well, it's good for let we know who the way forward, okay? Whether the sacking of the Attorney General is the answer, whether the Attorney General is sacked because the president thinks the charges should not have been preferred, or maybe the verdict is unfavorable. It's a very balance, okay? So once more, thank you now, and please stay tuned, Mr. MacFoy.
Thank you very much, Mr. Sesay. It's a the conversation at this one, Mr. Sesay. This verdict we get, the Paolo Conteh Treason trial, okay, we all been getting an opinion, okay, and I think the opinion was strong, very, very strong on your side. I mean, at one possible way, on so many occasions, I refuse for comments publicly or talking about the media about the Paolo Conteh issue. I think even that, because one thing I always say, I don't want to prejudice the judicial process. I want to let the process for taking course. So, I mean, at one possible way, categorically refuse for go on air and discuss them and do all that stuff. But then in every discussion I get, everybody will know. Say the first thing I said is, this doesn't amount to treason. You know, Daniel small Asabi, I know say police commit treason, you have to get conspiracy. And if you never get conspiracy, you cannot charge with treason. You know, and there's a whole lot of the circumstance, the evidence where they present, and the pre-trial. I just thought to myself, this is all hogwash. You know, at that point, I would have expected the presiding judge to throw the case out of court. You know, and from that moment, it wasn't thrown out of court. I didn't get a problem. I thought to myself, with such lack of evidence, you know, with such lack of evidence, how can you, as a learned trial judge, go allow that kind of case to go through? So a lot of stuff came into mind. Was this political? Were they trying to get this man? You know, is that something they were not telling us? Is there more to this story where you know open up to the public? Is there the prosecution will hold on to the key evidence? We will nail this man, or they know the judge they not get up pre-hearing behind doors. We not show certain evidence in terms of state security. We know and disclose will make it allow the trial to go through. You know, all that stuff they kind of made. So I made the decision because we're in a public space. You have to be very careful which you put, which you talk. You know, you have to understand how you talk. You have to understand the subject matter before you talk about it. You know, so I so like stay back. But Mr. Sesay, that put this question to you. The verdict for acquit Paolo on 11 counts, all treason charges on 11 counts. Each one of them not guilty. What do you think about that?
Well, you see, you don't premise the argument, and I like the side way you take them earlier. Say you see the weight of evidence. You're not being convinced the weight. They had evidence so far because any thing where you put on a table, you say na evidence. The court go say yes, but the weight of the evidence in criminal trial, there are three elements in evidence. The evidence must be cogent, it must be admissible, and it will be relevant. Then three elements here for present, and these elements, police not go know, no other person not go know past the Attorney General office, law officers. Here in England, the Crown Prosecution, they have assessed the weight of the evidence because we get a reparation, we get a compensation culture now, so they're not going to just charge any other person and send them go. We say me begin doubt the whole process, you see, and this for be a kind of a learning curve for we. For you, Section 136 for leapfrog cases from magistrate to high court can get in your own ramifications. The issue for when they say cases, criminal trials, magistrate court now a first court of instance. All criminal trials for start from a magistrate court for get a prima facie view of the evidence. If they get weight, then go say then commit unto trial. If they not get weight, then they abandon the case and discharge or then throw the case away. But then they willfully leapfrog the case from a magistrate where before give you a prima facie view of the weight of the evidence. Okay. Now, to me, this verdict, I am not surprised because honestly, if them in convict, even the two charges and more than convict, I get a question mark on me as far as I'm concerned. I get a whole lot of view, a lot of people and they give them comments, a lot of people and they give them view. But to be honest, as far as this verdict is concerned, we the people of Sierra Leone, a lot of people are saying now we get this verdict, but it puts me back on it open a whole lot of debate, the sacking of the Attorney General, because I was thinking that at this point in time, the government will come back and say, wait a minute, waiting happen so where we don't go to court, we go see evidence where not to like say a surprise, they did a closing. I mean, I've seen cases whereby after they assess the weight of the evidence, or even after the locus, we then go visit the State House, therefore don't abandon the ship, say, no waiting, the money when they come, my lord, we no longer intend, the states no longer intend to prosecute this matter. We want to abandon this matter. That was the honorable thing to have done on the treason.
But then the at that stage where it was with the prosecution team that was adamant that they had the evidence, with the prosecution team that was convinced by whatever mechanism they were convinced that they get evidence for pursue that kind a case there, will not drop it. But if that just interject, what did the defense do was a no case submission.
Naturally,
because if the prosecution at that point they still adamant say get case with such glaring display of lack of evidence for support the crime where they're in charge of it, because they're going to say evidence can be brought that this make this possible. But what supports the charge itself? In law, things have to support that charge. If you don't support the charge, you don't fit the bill. If you don't fit the bill, then it shouldn't be there. And that's exactly what the defense team look and say, team, what is that rubbish? We don't even talk. We're not get a case for present. They went to court and they said to the judge, no case. That's it. No case defense. Case no day, so we're not going to ask for defense. And it took the jury how many hours for come up with a verdict of not guilty? How many days did you retire?
Well, I'll let Mr. Thonkla introduce himself, and then I can let for reserve my view on this because he's learned as well. So, Mr. Thonkla, introduce yourself. We don't Payamba self go introduce himself, then we'll take it from there.
Yes, thank you very much. Good afternoon, good morning.
Mr. Thonkla, you're very low.
Where am I with the watching program? You don't hear me?
Now they hear you.
Okay. In the first place, I mean, make an apology for not trying to step prior to now. For people be beyond control. All about law, first demand. So I thank you very much. Once again, you have welcome. So yeah, to Kabakura, always reliable of law and you now quality for actually bolster national program. Thank you.
Okay. Ms. Payamba.
Yes. Hello?
Yeah, we hear you.
Yeah, good evening. This is Abdul Din. Aka Payamba, if you want to call me Payamba. I want to apologize first for being late. Now something happened beyond the uncontrollable circumstance where a feasible arrest. We just get for go and attend to what happened. However, today now the same topic, I believe. I don't know whether there is a change. And we welcome the viewers them, let them feel free for contribute. This is on our program, Diaspora, All Out Politics Diaspora Talk, or whatever it is. This is on our program, as I say again, feel free for coming. Our contribution is very, very much important because This is about national interest. This is not about Mr. MacFoy or Mr. Sesay or me, Abdul or Thonkla or the coordinator, the CEO we Brother Little and I don't know the other. I don't know. It's all about politics. This is all about Sierra Leone. This is all about us. When I feel free for contribute, as we coordinator always na sharp man. This na man we can try for balance. We will today we no go grill Mr. MacFoy. Is on top of the game. Anyway, now a pleasure. Anyway, when I welcome once more this na diaspora talk. When I welcome. God bless everybody. Thank you very much.
And don't forget to share the viewers, and so we go get a bigger audience and better.
Okay, I'm doing so now.
Yeah, the link, please do.
I'm doing that now.
Let's call the talk just now. Payamba and Mr. Thonkla, when I come in late, we will talk about the verdict. You know, we changed the topic slightly because we two guests unable to come today for circumstances beyond their control. So we changed the topic to the current status with the Paolo Conteh verdict. What do you mean for Salon? Whether not been the people's judgment or not be the government's own judgment that they follow the acquit Paolo. You know, so that's what the discussion is around. That's what we're discussing today. So the first thing I do with Mr. Sesay was literally ask her what your opinion on the verdict. What do you think about the verdict? I just gave a brief background of me on understanding of the case itself. I think the premise where I started was this was never a case to begin with, you know, and because it was never a case to begin with, you know, yes, the verdict, we don't give the verdict. But before I ask either Mr. Thonkla or Payamba the verdict, let's ask the question, was the charges politically motivated against Paolo Conteh, or were they charges that were done with good intent that the man has broken the law? Did the Attorney General or the prosecution team, the Attorney General then, because for what I get from somebody with very reliable source, State House, say they don't sack the Attorney General. There's Yewona Briwa. Yewona Briwa is the new Attorney General Minister of Justice now, not Priscilla Schwartz anymore. She's been sacked with immediate effect. So if that are the case, the question, it changes the dynamics of what's in this program. It changes the dynamic, it changes the question we will ask. Was the case wrongly prosecuted, or was it done incompetently? Where the state, even if they may get the evidence, they're able to put the evidence together for making the evidence fit the charge, or was this a politically motivated charge, irrespective of whether the evidence was there? These two questions go for Payamba and Mr. Thonkla. So I don't know that one take and pause. Okay, Mr. Thonkla is here for. So Mr. Thonkla, yes, I listen to you.
That's why I put the hand up. Sorry, this is my area. This I'm here. This is for.
I know. Mina is sociologist. This na law na everybody will give me. Mina sociology. I read. Mina is sociologist, but na law go no more. I dey be una.
Viewer, the MacFoy development in this question. Look at the chain of causation. That and who that it will land with. Paolo was invited at State House, and they said yes, finished. Even though I will appeal, but we know the treason issue, the road visa. So looking at Paolo the State House based on one thing, national interest for make a work with the government, the member of the strengthen national cohesion. When there was expertise where we don't attain Ebola. So Paolo is one of the finest candidates where it fittest for help the government.
Thonkla, sorry, Mr. Thonkla, you're not clear. You they break. The viewers and the comments say they break. So adjust your mic properly.
Why? But I'm very clear.
You break.
Then the comments say they break.
My advice is it goes off and then log back in.
Okay, no problem. I'll go back.
Okay, Mr. Dean, you take them from there while they.
My apology to all the viewers and as I say, I'm a sociologist. This is Ahmed Sesay and Thonkla na the area and field, the area of study. But however, with me only to knowledge, I go give me own view just as an ordinary person, where you don't get idea about the law itself, like Mr. Sesay or Mr. Thonkla. To me, I believe in national cohesion. I believe in oneness and solidarity. I believe, say, we go only search forward if we embrace what they call inclusion. And exactly, the motive was very correct. But we know if he politically meant, was it a trap? This and we will explain deeper, because that's not my area. But waiting really happen, I feel say it makes sense for make Paolo answer to the call, because Paolo, he get experience of a dreadful disease, the Ebola, where shatter the country economy. For that time, they do extremely well in terms of economic development. We all know how dreadful the Ebola be. He reduced the country to almost zero economically, socially, and politically. Although the government be managed, they would be on top of the game, but it was too bad. However, would I make us succeed now? Paolo Conteh, because I lead the team, and this now a disease way contagious. So if that same Paolo didn't call him for making can lend a hand, especially an olive hand, I feel say the idea was very good. But what was the motive? Now a trap. Now making say it was, like, to me, a trap, because if you really this man come genuinely for can help, no matter how the mistake he do, I feel say for us settle down there rather than they say not treason. I'm not being by the idea of being calling it treason at all, because as we commonly know, one man only fights a dozen. If he really that man be going for more than 10,000 bombs all over my body, if I get bomb, if I get all this sophisticated like Rambo, get this gun, get that gun, all this, like that 100, at least we will face them. But just one pistol, no more, one pistol. And I never see a convoy where rich, where sophisticated reach this one. The president in security guard again, I'll never get an saloon. Maybe NPRC go this small. Now then this man with your own common sense go with just one pistol, no more. He said they go face again. Then they blow out the bar 9 pieces out for take. So for me, I feel say it was a gross mistake. You go with the gun. But the intention say if I go do anything stupid, no, I'm not by that idea. I'm not really agree, because I'm not stupid. You get what? You get beginning, but just go one gun. But go fight me when they pass 200. They all get advanced and technological weapons. When we say one no more don't do for scatter Paolo to pieces. Paolo not insane. You don't get that stupidity. They say if we will just challenge them guy with how they're so sophisticated, I don't believe. I don't believe that side. To me, this is not rational they use that. I feel saying a mistake, but let's come back to the judges. Whatever they do, I feel say it was politically motivated, or you get a bit of tangling of politics there. Because if this man, they say them free him, then sacking take place, well, there is a clause, there is a hiccup in there, doubt in there. Why the immediate sacking? Why didn't it have to take place? So to me, I'm not too, as I say, I'm not too inclined in law side. This is not Thonkla inside Mr. Sesay. This now the common man view, and they give just common sense. Now I mean it's guy for talking now. But to me, I don't believe say there is something fishy. Something is not right somewhere. Why the new appointment? Why the sacking? This is a baffling.
Okay, Mr. D.
Make a good chance.
Thank you, Mr. D. Thank you for that. That's something. Let me say, you know, to lawyer, you know, study about law business, but the one that put before you, you know, say choosing the panel, because when you go do small fan out, you find out say choosing get but call that element then where this one not meet up. You know, and I make we not to lawyer them. You know, I make I say me what be say for me only small law sabi about law, which I know about law. Years ago I go law school, which I know about law, it's completely different from which I see.
Mr. MacFoy, if Thonkla finish, me get one question for you. I want to answer for me.
Fantastic. Mr. Thonkla, come on.
Yes.
I think say the way they do this today, I think let's ask the questions to ourselves.
Yes.
Let's have a discussion. let's make it a debate, let's make it a discussion rather than me just moderate. Let's have a let's do a bit. I mean, if we can get more people who want to come on with our telephone lines, we'll announce and just know, then let's come on. Let's talk about this. This is of national importance. It's an important enough topic for a lot of discourse, and also inside the country go the direction we don't take. Yes, Mr. Thonkla, after you.
Thank you. Usabia for NAC Church this small, because maybe they look at the chain of causation. Paolo go to State House with all good intention for helping country. Paolo is fully equipped with the expertise to fight this level of virus, even though it is declared as an unprecedented virus. So you go there to go support them, go support the country, support the government, for strengthening national cohesion. And according to Otuyeri, the facts them will surround this issue. I feel say President Bio get unlimited powers to resolve this matter instantaneously right there. So, but I'm going to look at this thing in a binary way, looking at it from a legal point of view and looking at it from a political point of view. Paolo, now of the strongest men ever with the APC, they call him to go support the government. Then all of a sudden they say you get a pitch to we and Mutka they have for some. If that will happen, enough for to take this gun with her. This gun was licensed. One thing way they don't disclose the document of this license. You don't know if this gun pistol only allow for get them like us or if you get them personally anytime we go. So given that more information is required in that area, I feel say the government also duty for publish value in license terms and conditions. So but Paolo no stupid for take a gun where a license only for those and house, you walk out. Even as far good as State House for a personal security. This man not an ordinary man. This man is a former defense minister. This man is a former minister of internal affairs. This man is head of the Ebola tax force team. So now, so therefore, if he go, get personal security time, but you don't say probably it is prone to attack. He gets this gun for protect himself. I feel say that area where the government for giving access to the information. That one. Let's look at if Paolo was just an ordinary person, you don't get money, you don't sabia. They go there, arrest and they say you have to do treason. So if you go to a high profile case, that person will be a victim of miscarriage of justice. They say go prison for nothing. Because to high profile person, not just a common man as alone, then charge them this kind of highest charges. And more could know the consequence of the charges are death penalty. A death penalty, which is we call them the legal option in law. Right? They accuse them of. Okay, looking at all what you don't go through, incarcerate them, emulate human, send them bambas as well. They go through trauma. Right? So the government, listen, sacking of the general, now a very good step where the government take that. I go applaud them for that. But the government for holding the government responsible for even, because there's no way this case will go to court without talking to the president or talking to all the people in the Ministry of Justice and the general and all the people around, tell them the facts of this case, may they see the merits, because you can't just charge someone at court without looking at the merits of the case. If this case it goes successful or it goes fail, looking at the two tests, the public interest test, then look at the facts. Say this case it is prosecutable. That this the way. That is the two tests that this thing for the pass up. Another thing where this case was shrouded into secrecy. The CCTV that State House. This that prima facie evidence. Why they keep it? Keeping that CCTV made that case a politically motivated case. Full stop. If they don't get anything for hide, produce cameras, not court. If they don't get nothing for hide, produce the camera, not court. Simple. They go either exonerate them or prosecute them. Because you go look at the chain of causation, you go look at the chain, what happened, what it transpired. For keeping it, what are prima facie evidence, anybody keep a person, you don't even provide the court of justice. That person for charging a court. The one who didn't charge the CCTV, for keeper, you know, pull, you know, police. you don't pervert the course of justice. They will change our course. If the government wants to get serious, like that's it from the back. Not only sacking the general, that disgrace. Look in behavior na law school. She is. I'm sorry, I'm a feminist, but I'm a disgrace. I talk about it anywhere. Yes, I said Thonkla said that. It's shameful. This case don't expose country legally and politically. Now, it's a shambolic thing. We have to let's call a spade a spade. This is shameful. How now they take person liberty? When I humiliate her, when I torture her, because I met a torture. When I take every other country, incarcerate her there, when I tell nonsense, they sack her to general. Is that it? Is that all? Sack it to general. Is that all? Is that all? And nonsense. Let's look at this case. If Paolo not to high profile somebody, if I just ordinary citizen, that person will go to prison, buff case. End of story. You got a buff case. Now pure miscarriage of justice. The reason being the actors menstruate were not reconciled. That's what actors were not menstruate.
Okay, other areas then they other side will get forgo where they go now. Mr. MacFoy, my question to you is, assuming in a civil lawsuit, in a criminal lawsuit, in an ideal situation, if it's in the United States or some jurisdiction, the accused may have remedies available to him, such as compensation from the state because of the damages that follows. But in this case, let us look at it from a national perspective. And let me ask you this question. Listen to this. I said, but for the detention of Paolo Conteh at the Freetown Correctional Center, would the Panemba Road massacre had occurred? But for the detention of Paolo Conteh at the Panemba Road prison, will the massacre, the prison massacre had occurred?
You asking me or?
They asked Mr. MacFoy, because the reason why.
That's okay, Mr. Sesay. That's okay. That's okay.
Yeah.
I understand the question. I understand the question. And I respond in multiple fold.
Yeah.
Now, from a simply an assumptive point of view, you could simply say yes. From an assumptive point of view, not putting the facts. From a reality point of view, the question where you ask is important. If Paolo not been there in a prison, they're not being detained Paolo in Panama prison, then if you don't get the business for go kill people in there, because what's prompt, according to the Internal Affairs, Deputy Internal Affairs Minister, is that every commentary they say Paolo they want escape coming out of prison, and that caused the death of we fellow citizens. We up to this very second, the government not come and tell we whose investigation they gone, whether they lead that investigation they, and even disclose the names of the people that will die. I think, not just think, I believe say that a failure, that a gross failure on the BO government. And me and one person can always say to the president, and people, whether they like it or not, and I'll keep saying this, in legacy, na union for rights. Not to anybody the rights in legacy. Yeah. So whatever it allow, whatever happened under in watch, nobody is going to remember Lahai Lawrence Lima after 5-10 years. Nobody is going to remember Priscilla Swatch after 5-10 years. Nobody's going to remember David Francis after 5-10 years. But we will always be talking about the BO regime. We will always be talking about President Julius Maada Bio. Whatever take place under in watch, the buck stops with him. And if anybody let the president, if they go tell him saying, you know what, Mr. President, anything will happen in this country, good or bad, now you they get the accolade. If this economy boom, if jobs and if the citizens are happy, if you create hospitals, you build roads, you create jobs, you give with food, you make sure say we judicial system is up to scratch, you make sure we civic society good. Now they get the accolade. The whole world and forever history will say under President Bio in regime, now so happens. If any bad take place, it is equally that every citizen in right for say we blame the president and we hold the president responsible. Because with constitution in our country, they provide, and the 1991 constitution that was given then, written by Dr. Paolo Conteh, I will say it with all the respect I get from, that was a constitution written for a dictatorial president, for a one-party state regime, where they refuse to come back in power for can control. So they want to get all the trappings of that power there. And they made our presidency so powerful beyond belief. You know, and the advent of Ernest Kroma, the tinkering of the Supreme Court, when we believe say it tinker of the Supreme Court, it gets a verdict, where court and say it gets supreme executive authority. By virtue of that, the Supreme Court say the president can act in any way he sees fit for the sake of the country. So if the president wants to sack the vice president for the sake of the country, he get right for them. That gives the presidency even more powers where this president gets. But you see, with power so powerful, there's two things that can happen. You can use it for an absolute good. And I can use a leader in Africa who almost gets absolute power like President Bio and has used it for the good of his people. Paul Kagame of Rwanda. You know, power, it depends who that in hand it did. It depends your innate character and your innate being. So for me, I say, if Paolo not be the Panama Road, the simple fact of the matter is, we know, but with the human mind, because I am not God, I'm not the creator, I don't propose. I don't know what Allah don't plan. I don't know what he don't put there. So say it happened for a reason. But without Paolo, from a human mind, I can say to you, nobody ever done that on Panama Road. Because what prompted the security forces to go Panama Road? Because there's so-called, say, there's an escape attempt at Panama Road. And those poor innocent people that we don't die, their families need to be compensated. Their families need to be apologized to. The government need to do the needful and act with humanity, with compassion, and with decency, and publish the names of them who die, and tell me the circumstances where they die, bullet shots, a thorough forensic operation, then bullet shots. Was that them body then they? Have they been buried? Are they in a morgue? Why all the secrecy? Why all this? This, for me, I said to a president where I vote for, and I'm not ashamed to say it, where I vote for in the second round, that your duty to me and to my country and to our people is to be upfront, to be open, to be honest with us. In everything what we do, nobody's perfect. If the people that under you watch don't make mistakes, Mr. President, do not protect them. You see what has happened with the decision of the Attorney General? I think it is absolutely the right one. And I say, well done to the president. I don't care if anybody wants to praise him for this. I will say, well done, whatever your decision. And I must say this. I get this at the back of my mind. Yes, I get this at the back of my mind. I've defended the president in so many platforms. And people say, well, MacFoy, why would you defend somebody when you always go at? I said, because I do not defend a people, I defend the truth. I want to believe, and with all accounts in my heart, unless an evidence is provided to me, I want to believe that the charge of treason against Paolo was not that this president wanted Paolo to be charged for treason. I want to believe it is his political enemies where advise and persuade this president, and with the Attorney General presenting an evidence where I defend the president small. Where will come if I'm sitting there, Mr. Sesay, you know I'm a lawyer, you know it's a law. Then they come to me say, Mr. MacFoy, this thing under law, he writes, not do and so. And I trust you. I will rely on you for making the right decision and go by that. And if that charge has been made, and the reason why I'm more convinced now than ever before, because in the private circle, what they discuss is, and this is what I've said, the reason now why I'm more convinced is the sacking of the Attorney General. What about if the president sits? And this is a question for everybody. What about if the president feels he's been let down by people he trusted? If he's been let down and a false charge has been peddled, the highest charge in the land has been peddled against the citizens of the country when in responsibility and duty of care for protect. And it don't reflect, say, because of this, a lot of people don't die. And he's sitting back with contrition and saying, this should not have happened. And the first step I take in this cleanup of this corrupt, this defunct, this recklessness of politics, of hate, is to get rid of the Attorney General and so doing, get rid of the Deputy Minister of Internal Affairs, get rid of the people that were responsible, and launch a proper judicial process. That is what I will advise this president. Because if he does that, he can stand to in country and in nation and say, this was not my doing. When you're in leadership position, you rely on your advisors for giving evidence. Supposing the crucial evidence was withheld from the president, supposing he was told, and that CCTV was not played to him, he was told, say, "Pa, with all what you get, that man a car with the intention can kill you." Now, because you know, say they catch him. What about if that was said to this president? Let's just play devil's advocate for a second, because we're all humans and we therefore be true to truthfulness. What about if that is what he was told? And at this juncture, that person realized, say, hold on, these people are not good for me. And like what I can say, Mr. Thonkla, before you come, and I'll say directly, and those who are listening, Mr. President, I've always said, your legacy is yours to write and yours to protect. Only you can write it. Whatever happens under your watch is your legacy. So before you believe people, before you act with them people in name, ask yourself the question, like what Mr. Thonkla Abdul say, public policy, is this good for the country? Can I let this go? Can I make this not happen? Because I am the president, I need to look at the bigger picture. Maybe what the president needs is better counselors, is better people who can get better counsel, because they have failed. With this treason trial, they don't fail the country, they don't fail they don't waste free money in taxpayer trial, they don't kill the fellow citizens because of this. Yes, Mr. Thonkla, like you.
I mean, I just put me so that tomorrow we'll have a dialogue. You don't put too much sense. Understand, eh? Or justify you, even though we are all within the same political landscape, not head of state house, head of state. Anything will go wrong in government, you go for accept liability. That's so if immediately anything will go wrong in government, I am liable as a leader. Let's make it clear, right? Let's look at Mr. Say actually the bought for test. Actually, so the bought for test. Those innocent.
Still a break, Thonkla.
Mr. Bagula.
Until I say people they finger me.
No. What I say people they won't say it, so they are big.
Well, this week.
No, AYB.
I suppose the owner they play
something at the background. I suppose it ain't at the station.
The Zoom. So am I clear?
Yes, much better.
A bit better.
Thank you very much. The board for test under strict liability, the most culpable for what happened in neighborhood. Because we get a lot of information waiting the Minister of Internal Affairs to do the 4 a.m. in the morning to 5 in the morning and other top brass. If you mention one department in the Office of National Security, the ONS, they're going to brief them about this. Then what are they in charge of the security for them going to state house and review the tape? President Bill no just take say word of mouth. Say let me have to the tape. Not only the evidence, don't come and show paper. Let me see the tape in state house. Because I'm invited in a state house. Make a Germany fight for country. Then this will happen. Me as a leader, I get unlimited powers for either pardon them, I get a public tell off, then I let them go. My show leadership. If you get those powers. Yeah. Because looking at a caution of the issue, this guy is political, the opposition member, not only a man, former Minister of Defense and Minister of Internal Affairs, then the head of the Ebola tax. So for the political repercussion where they come out. And now social media, it don't make it easy for let issues of this nature go across the world. So the president for the best and this thing make a black hole in government. Pure simple, right? If one save the day by intervening, say, let me get access to the facts. Let me see the camera. Let me know what happen.
Let me Sorry, Mr. Thonkla, let me hold that thought. Let me ask you one question along those lines. Mr. MacFoy say he lauded the president's effort for sack the Attorney General. He's happy and he commend the president for that. Now, you as a learned person, a lawyer, you know for sure that the facts, now then they participate, now the facts, now then they evoke the charges. The office of the president, now they hold the facts. What happened? Not so. At the Attorney General office, now they hold the law.
Law, yes.
You think, say, the office of the president, where then distorts the facts about the conduct of the accused, then distort the facts about the scanner, then distort the facts about the CCTV. All these facts were distorted will lead to the doubt. Because where there is a doubt, the jury or the court will draw an adverse inference. Okay? This is why they draw the adverse inference. The jury then create the doubt. And all you need for create in this matter is just the doubt, okay? The facts that then create the doubt. You think, say, the office of the president should go blameless? Now, just the Attorney General forget this one won't blame because they get these verdicts where they're not happy about. Because one thing we for say, nobody know for frown in face about a verdict. A verdict is there to show waiting at justice. When justice be served, the only point you can enter if there is an error in law. But people then they vex because the verdicts are favorable. There is no something like favorable, unfavorable verdict if we believe in the judicial system. The jury are there to say the truth. It just sounds like when you go ask you imam for let tell you about or the pastor, let clarify something for you about the Bible. And when he don't tell you, you vex because not to the answer we want. So now let me ask you along this line before I ask Payamba this question. And Payamba, I ask her all to the question of the Paolo chain effect, and then another question on because they've preferred charges for Paolo's wife as at a few days ago. Again, for a misdemeanor crime. Now, but you feel say the president in office for go blameless now the AG for take this entirely?
No, as I said, the Attorney General in this case, in this small scenario, she has now they don't put them for make and someone has to carry the blame. She or she in the lawyer department. So what made me the call for? We need more help to roll. The Attorney General go in our way constitution, it don't go. But let's look at the change around this year. We'll get internal affairs, we'll get the ONS, we'll get the state security, we'll get the office of the president, we'll get the president, we'll get a lot of people every day within this chain where they build up the story, can end up soon. So there's no way the president in the office will escape this issue, given that Naim directly invites this man for you go to state house. So the office itself is culpable because if the security where the power rely on a state house, then go intoxicate the facts. One thing where they don't trust, and you know get security force, you don't trust them. They don't breach that trust. They don't show that trust. Wait, it get for them. Say they don't tell them something way factual, not some way they don't fabricate. They can fabricate a story. They can do anything against security activities. Because you cannot trust your personal security where they guide you as state, then what else should it that? So the kind of people that all this is build up, the office of president is liable. Of course, it's liable.
Okay. They are all and Payamba.
Yes, sir.
Please, you hear Mr. The question was just to Mr. MacFoy.
Yeah.
Paolo in keep one at Panemba Road prison don't cause so much disaster. But some people go and argue, say,
yeah,
now because Paolo been there Panemba, they feel say they want to interfere for perverted treason. Now I make them the Panemba, that is the story they concoct. Well, the story where they believe, say, now I make them go try for avert the riot and cause heavy casualty. Okay, so in other words, if Paolo not me for Dede, and if this verdicts don't come also now, like how it come also, that means all the action we then do na Panemba Road, it go in vain. So Diabeg, tell me, if Paolo not been Dede na this place, you be feel say this action before occur, and then secondly, you don't know the evidence and just charge Paolo in WEF for a misdemeanor. Okay, I want to let you clarify this. You feel saying a malicious prosecution, in other words, malicious prosecution, a prosecution where it be say then na Wamat prosecution. So give me your answer.
To start with, social media don't infringe into the rationale of people today. Many get carried away by social media today in the world. It gets in pros and in cons. Although the advantage to supersede the disadvantage of social media. This now a pivot, it play a significant role in waiting to happen today in the world, not only Sierra Leone, but all over the world. And I believe say Paolo in day one at the prison, it contribute immensely towards waiting take place. Now, why we get the ONS? Why the ONS? ONS, now like the FBI or CIA or the MI6 or MI5 of Sierra Leone. These are the intelligent body. So it means they're not effective, they're not capable. Why not able to put the president, tell her the truth, say, this exactly ain't happen. This not be first concern towards waiting happen. And I can look at again, do we have a perfect surveillance system, way sophisticated, where we able to see, a review waiting happen take place? This is another area back where I feel say it gets concerned with waiting happen. And I want to look at this again. I believe say Paolo in day one prison make Lima they be the visit. We they get information say he was going there until he proved himself right, say he was there. And he been there when the massacre take place. Why was it there? Why Lima for they there? Now for Paolo Dede, I believe say yes, because now the most senior political person with them all at the time. Now only now they all silver blinded. But at that time they have been Paolo. Now have been the most senior. Then Fatmata Yassane, he even sent audio say, even if I as early as 3 a.m. in the morning, you now woman, you not get uniform. You not to the president. You don't get what he go do there. I believe say now a chain walk. Lima was there, he even called Lima and intercepted and he measured a lot of people. Now he not stop the presidential guards. This is the president then therefore. What did they go do now? We not get other security force? We not get other security force. Why the presidential guards? Why not they go there? Today they don't go kill Baku people them. They don't even show you the number. Only God knows how much they kill. They don't ever, let me ask, this government don't ever call the people that we lost them, picking them, come out and apologize. That's one. They don't tell people they say, now I'll bear their wire, that's two. Because some people in that prison, so tell a driver, now traffic offense, he make them put on day. So man and then a debt in able pay, they put on day. Now they come, they just now round up. They don't want to shoot randomly, kill as many people as they come. The number I don't know, but I know say many lost their lives. So to me, if you ask me, say Paolo, now if you're in sake make this happen or not in sake, it points out to him why they take Paolo according to information. He been there in a hiding. Nobody been there after the incident. Been there. So they say they don't boss CI. So they say they don't kill him. So nobody will know. A lot of stories been gone. As I say, social media they play a very consequential role in today's politics. Very, very significant. Now, I also believe say Paolo in presence, I believe say it gets a lot to do with the massacre and the mayhem will take place at that place. Now, I can come to the second question. a wife. I feel say these women are the most vulnerable people according to, if you compare the two sexes. They're not now emotional people.
It's 21 hours.
Women are emotional people. So I see no reason if he get gone, why not forget bullets? If they go meet bullets na that lady in the house here in Paolo get gone, he just get forget bullets. Because he need bullets. And what thing bullets get for do with the lady? If you now on that grounds and Olam, this to me now advantage. Pure advantage. Because if I get gone, I need bullets.
Okay, Mr. Payamba.
Yes, brother.
Mr. Payamba. Okay, don't understand me, but let's move forward. Don't get your point. Mr. Say, don't get your point. What's okay. I'll do? I'll go to the second. No, go to the.
Okay, go on. Ask me. Yeah.
No, go to, and I'll start with you.
Okay, no problem.
This verdict.
Yeah.
Yes, the verdict itself.
Yeah.
Was that the people's verdict or was that the government's verdict? By so I mean say, yeah. This verdict here have been the jury and key on our waiting the government be want. Based on the history of Sierra Leone. And what you know say, and I ask this question to all man, who you know say the country, all previous regime, except for 2 occasions where a member say they don't acquit people for treason, and those were all military trials. But in there, saying that court we don't get at that country, anytime they charge somebody for treason, unfortunately and regrettably, we all know it at the result. You know, so this is not about government made a talk about. It's about party made a talk about, and they talk about the attitude of the people, then the attitude of the one the way they governance, whether it be APC, SLPP, NPRC, JYJ, it doesn't matter. But the attitude of people in power, where would they keep power as alone, where they take on, based on what you know of that and the history.
Okay.
Repeat to say this is not the jury the verdict or not the government in verdict list. And that question will go to Mr. Thonkla and go to Mr. Sesay as well.
Okay, thank you very much. I want to jog back with memory. Everybody who they watch now, say we suffer 11 years unprecedented, brutal war where it devastates everybody in life. It was so catastrophic. Any Sierra Leonean, any meaningful Sierra Leonean, no one foresee the wastefulness of any other citizen. Yeah, for kill another Sierra Leonean, will not let for Sudan anymore. That everybody, this is not about APC, it's not about SLPP, this is not just a general saying that they say. For waste anybody in life, I not like them at all. They're against waiting me believe. Now, coming back to what happened, the jury or not the government allow that or not. This make, as I say earlier on, my idea about law is very scanty. In fact, I'm not a lawyer. Now make God bless we get Chief Thonkla Naya, we blessed with that in that area there, and we get Ahmed Sesay when I'm in area. And as I say, I'm a sociologist. Me in a society now study. So to me, I feel say the jurism them do what they do. Because then carry out the case beyond their own understanding, all reasonable doubts. Then carry out the analysis and then do it critically, according to their own understanding. Now, layman idea, but this they say now common sense now make book. It's not common sense now. And wisdom, not to forget 30 PhD. Wisdom now blessing from God. And now then wisdom now they use. So if you ask me, say now the government, no. Now the jury, the one the way they appoint. Now they look, not to say they do it out of sympathy, but they look into the case. As I said earlier on, there are estates out there, they get past 150 and demand them. I mean, no God know they this world, no they under. I went there. No God know the way they think about that the whole way. When I one almost a Paolo, the next body, one. So for me, Paolo just want peace to no more. He said they go and now on that ground, say them where they look, say a man cannot fight a dozen. There's no way. So I feel on that ground, say just the bullets didn't up as 30. So now on that ground, say I feel say they say because the surveillance, the audio, video, will probably show the evidence. Today, God knows if he been there or not. I don't know that one day. Because to win, we believe in the surveillance system, where they go bring a video where they miss nothing. They will begin tracing from the side, you come on, or take out to the place. All if you want, they give you compiler. So beyond all reasonable, you don't go able to escape. But if the state house, why you not get surveillance system? So maybe all of you are look into this. Say, why the surveillance system today? Was it a trap? All are they look into this and say, no, this gun, you know, will fetch 5 people there. Then why they pass 150 with sophisticated weapons. Then. No, now on that ground, they look at the weapon way all. They look at the surveillance system and they will give any result as to that. To me, I feel say now their own discretion. They look as on the humanity side. This is not about APC. This is not about SLPP, C4C. This they look at in the humanitarian side. Say no, me no able go fetch to now forward. You don't have. It's not possible. Fellow, when I get gun, they pass me. Me no more to now for to God. If I bring 2 down, the 2 will bring me down. So now that way they say, to me, Ahmed Sesay, if you ask this question, I feel say the people them now their own discretion and they take, and I feel say that the right thing and they do, Mr. Sesay.
Okay,
so
thank you. Thank you, Payamba. Thank you for that. Mr. Thonkla, the same question go to you.
Yes.
This one be the people's verdict or not the government verdict?
Thank you very much. I mean, in a nutshell, natural justice. In a nutshell. But listen, let me give you a full picture of this verdict. The defense team put up a very strong case against the weak prosecution team. The prosecution team, listen, they were rattled. They rattled them. The defense team gets seasoned counsels where there is no legal stop block where they block them. They were rattled. So one of the success for that case day, Paolo gets a very strong defense team. That's a one. Only you and I not privy to the select juries. How the composition of juries, right? Me, I don't know. We know their background. Because some juries they get legal experience. Some don't. Some ordinary, okay, we don't know how they were selected. Right? And what I make you know, this case draw an international attention. The government was under pressure about this case here. They want to try and do a full term and move on. So that pressure as well played a part. This is no. This the SLP government we are nervous. They are set panicking. This is fine.
With that in mind, Mr. Thonkla, with that in mind, you see, I ask you a question, and you give me 2 answers. The first answer we give me to the question was this was natural justice. The second answer we give me was there was a pressure from international across the globe because the way they see them. So if it fits into a national, so I can ask the question, and I will talk why they can ask that question and what are my opinion on why I ask that question. Do I ask them? You know, so then Mr. Sesay will ask me, Mr. MacFoy, I can ask this question. Then I will talk them. But Mr. Sesay, yeah, the question still goes to you again. Was this the people's verdict or was this the government's verdict?
I would say it's the people's verdict because anyhow you see, let us see the hierarchy of the offenses. The most serious one when at the treason, it's the most serious one when at the treason, they acquit the accused. And then the people look at the evidence put forward. In as much as the accused, the defense gets a battery of lawyers, just like waiting Mr. Thonkla say, very well learned. I read Dr. Abdul Conteh's closing, 13 pages. I read it all, very cogent, very authoritative, you know, and that, so, and I am sure if this case is reported, it will make a good reading for criminal law students when they see Dr. Abdul Conteh in closing.
Indeed.
But having said that, Dr. Abdul Conteh show you how to evaluate evidence, and it show you how to establish intent in treason. That case should be an authority. He cites 2 things. He said there should be endeavoring and preparedness before you establish a treason. That is the mens rea element of treason. There has to be endeavoring and preparedness. In other words, you get for plan and IOSA, they go overthrown, and then you get for prepare. And I will not say reasonable man will not see a 10-bullet pistol as preparedness. A reasonable man will not see someone honoring an invitation from His Excellency going alone as endeavoring. Okay? Well, the lack of alibi, they know say treason is a crime where he must get alibi. You cannot commit it without an alibi, except in America definition of treason, where disseminating state secrets will be perceived as treasonable offense in America. In that case, you'll be committing a treason alone. Now, with all this, I feel say the people of Sierra Leone, the jury, stand say, first of all, they detest bullying, and two, they love equitable justice. Okay. Because imagine the closing. After Alhaji Conteh in closing, where he go to intent, Roland Wright addressed the issue of, from the layman point of view, who say, waiting at the element where the jury for look for. And then the last one, Lawyer Cabo established from a divine point of view. He starts by addressing them. He say, Watakullah, afraid Allah. So they attack from all fronts. But we have a saying, a lawyer is as good as his case. Meaning, one person, I will not blame my learned colleague Fisher, because a lawyer is as good as his case. If you have a bad case, and worst case scenario, you're lucky for meet up the likes of Alhaji Conteh, Roland Wright. Alhaji Conteh, Roland Wright do pupillage under Alhaji Conteh. Alhaji Conteh, Roland Wright taught the judge, and then the defense counsel. Then you go get somebody where just begin practice criminal law as alone. Even though he gets a bosom of knowledge in his belt as a magistrate. But so to me, you ask me, the verdict belongs to the people because of the jury. I know they go to the other challenges because they don't file today, and I know subjudice them. They have filed an appeal. Okay. Waiting me not go encourage the government, and I go feel say it go be a blow if the government appeal this verdict. Because why? Me information tell me say the head of the jury, where they sequester the judges and the bailiff when Calon is still in the hands of the CID, for God knows why. So for the government, they say, we are not tampering with this case, we'll not tamper with this case. Please, please, I beg you for the sake of decency, let no one tell me, say, the government of Sierra Leone did not tamper with the Paolo trial. I will be fumed if you say that. The government did interrupt big time, and I will tell you why. In the criminal justice system, your rights start at the point where they arrest you. Therefore, accord you the right, therefore caution you, accord you the right to a lawyer and tell you your right to remain silent, and therefore afford you the luxury of a lawyer, and therefore keep you in accordance to the Geneva Convention, how for keep prisoners. For 11 days, Paolo no get access to the NTNA. And then there was a time where in defense team pass with the right for know the whereabouts of the client, okay? And then the man they can court with handcuffs. A man is passive free inside a courtroom. If for dress you suit, elect na serial killer, when they go na court and for they in suit, the man they turn behind them, they see weapon, gun, they intimidate them. You don't ever see a weapon inside a court of law. So that intimidation is sending a message to the jury where the government wants the verdict. So the jury stood their ground. They said, even you intimidate us, even you do all this, whatever you may do, we will give you the verdict that is equitable. So to me, let me answer your question in short. It is the people's verdict for the treason. However, for the misdemeanor offenses by which Paolo was convicted, that is the government verdict. Because why? First of all, as a first offender, how can you charge a first offender? You don't get the maximum And then instead of serving concurrently, you prefer for serve consecutively. In other words, they serve 1 year and then you serve the other year. And then you declare, say you want prison reforms. An upright citizen, a former minister like that one day, you say, you know, the accord and the liberty of a first-time offender. And then you say they are overcrowded prisons. And then still they send prisoners. So that is the government motive. So when the government, that they tell you, say, if it were a trial by judge alone, that will be the verdict for the 16 counts. If it were a trial by judge alone. Because the judge, I would say the learned judge, and with all respect, as a lawyer, I'm not supposed to, I'm an officer of the court. So I have to respect the verdict of the learned judge. Okay? But if the judge err himself in the advice himself in error, we have to tell the judge that in the last 2 counts, we believe strongly that the learned judge advised himself in error because they don't make mistake. Do you understand? So that is the basis, that is the gaping hole for the appeal. So these 2 verdicts, one goes to the government, one goes to the people. I hope he answered your question.
And Mr. Sesay, we don't lose you.
Oh, hello?
Yeah, we're here now.
Yeah, I say I hope he answered the question.
Okay, fantastic. Yes, it does answer the question. But you see, the question was framed with a specificity in mind. And like that's in the background. Why I framed the question the way I framed the question. You know, from the history of the country, and I'm glad the conclusion with Yomkimi, and I'm glad the conclusion with Thonkla Abdul, and I'm glad the conclusion with Payamba, you know, una solve that you strongly don't put us at the jury's decision, the people's decision. But then you infer that the second decision was the government's decision. So you're swinging it.
Yeah, because this is the people.
Exactly, you're swinging it. And there's a swing here.
But it is illegal experience there because it has to stay in the middle. And not side.
And this is the key where this whole judgment comes. Now, there is a school of thought in Sierra Leone which say this judgment shows, say, irrespective of whether the merits of the case take place, but at the final juncture, there was no interference by the executive branch for get a decision in their favor. Had they wanted to get that decision, they could have, based on the history of Sierra Leone. So there's a whole section where they praise the president and the presidency for allowed judicial independence, i.e., the guys of judicial independence say the jury they're able to make a decision on free will, without inference or without influence from political people. There's a school of thought where they say, well, not to the president inviting this, not to the government. The government has nothing for doing this. I just need juror, 12 men and women of our peers and his peers, will say, you know, this man not guilty. For me, I have a difficulty in my soul to reconcile. But if this is reconciled, it marks a new beginning for Sierra Leone. It marks a new direction for Sierra Leone. And no matter what anybody say, I, Alusine MacFoy, I'm stating that. And I tell you why.
Mr. MacFoy, sorry, I've never interrupted you. I have never. Let me just do 1 minute. Okay. Please do not use one case. The only case that has been tried by a jury, only in a docket of 9 cases from the opposition. The opposition had a case against the interpretation of 78, section 78. It was not en panel. Arikam, the opposition had a case of petition. It was not en panel. The opposition was removed, 10, 11 members of parliament. They appealed. It was not en panel. And then they have a batch of cases where just the judge, where they within the purview of the judge, they're not, until when 12 people of WIPIA then come to the court before we're able to get justice. Will you say that credit must go to the justice system or to the people? Let me answer this.
Mr. Sesay, and if you allow me, for gets to that point, this is why I asked the question. and this is where I say it, and I say, based on what we know with the history of Sierra Leone, with the history of treason, with the history of conviction in a civilian court of treason cases. Treason cases are tried by jurors. With that history there, where no court, no juror, not ever bring a not guilty verdict, except in a military trial, except in a military court martial. There was a 23-man.
Okay, let me correct you that side back. No, continue. In Mohammed Sorifona, there was 2 acquits. In GMT Kaikad, there was another acquittal, Kasim Ali and Raymond Dowie. No, they come, they acquit them. I just say tell you. So let you know. No, they come, let you correct you before you produce.
Okay, let me rephrase.
Yes.
The main accused, let rephrase, that paraphrase, where the main accused, the architect of a treason has been acquitted. And no case not Nasalone, we don't civilian court don't do. No case not Nasalone where a civilian court don't do. Whether under APC, whether under SLPP, whether under Shaka Steven, whether under JS Momo, whether under the NPRC, whatever. They not acquit the main accused. And in this case, Paolo was the main accused. So maybe that paraphrase, and thank you for that. Thank you for making me paraphrase that. Thank you.
The only accused in this case. Those are accused
of treason.
They don't highlight. We got a whole lot of accused people. Really, So if they one, right? Listen, this case, I'm sorry, this case, credit should not be given to the government.
No, but hold on, Mr. Thonkla, and this is the point. This is the point. You have to allow me to make this case. I allow now to make the case. Now, if I allow me to make the case.
Oh, go on. I just correct you as they go.
Because the fairness is, I don't look at political parties. I give a toss about SLPP. I give a toss about what APC think. Frankly, I care about my country. I care about my nation, and I care about what thing that happen with my nation and what thing that happen with the country.
That I can attest.
You know, and that is what I care about. And the reason why they say the things that they say, the reason why they say, do we really believe? And this is where I'm coming from. As gentlemen, you guys.
Talk now. They're in a radio station. I'm not going to talk now.
As gentlemen, you guys are sitting there. Do we really believe that this is a watershed moment in the history of Sierra Leone, where we have 12 men and women of the jury of our peers wait turn and look at the government, whether there was political influence or not from a government, we say to a government, we don't care what you say. This verdict will they give as a jury, out of we own free will and we own free human spirit, we patriotism and we patrioticness, we don't care if I go kill we now, but we give a not guilty verdict. And I am saying, if this is what has happened in Sierra Leone, this is a watershed moment for the country, and it is a good moment for the country. And this good moment don't happen under the watch of the Julius Maada Bio presidency.
But it's the people.
Hold on, let me finish.
It's the people's verdict.
Let me finish. It don't happen under the Julius Maada Bio presidency. Are we to say that if this president wanted a guilty verdict for Paolo Conteh, if this president wanted a guilty verdict,
I can come in, sir.
Hold on, that don't be submission.
No, I don't. Second.
No, will this president would not have had that guilty verdict if he so determinedly wanted that guilty verdict. Mr. Thonkla, Mr. Payamba, come in with that. Will this president would have not gotten a guilty verdict if he so desired that guilty verdict? That question will go for you, Mr. Thonkla. That question will go for Mr. Payamba, and that question will go for Mr. Sesay.
Okay, let's start with Usai case come up first. Usai the case come out. Usai case come out. Bang way it for being a treason. Usai case come away for being treason. Usai he shoots somebody. He threatens somebody for killer. You know, we got to look at all these issues. That to me, now a bill up case against the gentleman, they just go punish the man. And once he knows how I will do him for me, I get good name, say, I hold him later, left hand. Come on, this is a plan work. It's stage managed. This is stage managed.
Oh, hold on. Payamba, hold on. Are you saying?
Yeah.
Are you saying the president decided for left and go because he knows the case to be weak?
Now just this. You know, left and go, not to left and go. Now, see when it's stage managed. Now stage managed something.
So
You don't get no way for sending for all for treason. This is not treasonable at all. Me not to lawyer, but this is not a treason case at all. Me not go gone when I peace to when I 7 rounds. You will have now 150. When I get bazooka, when I get MMG, when I get submachine guns, when I get bombs, when I get everything. Me go gun number peace to say they go kill you. Come on, which kind of nonsense is?
You see,
this is stage managed. Nothing when I'm not going to tell me. Me no go Chris. Me be Chris man say I go to state house. Yeah, when me don't go and go see. I like a Chris and we never go near it. I like a Chris and they blow you off. Now lie they like nothing as stage managed. All I'm saying is stage managed.
Fantastic, Payamba, fantastic. Mr. Sesay,
yes.
Mr. Thonkla, when I read Payamba say this was stage managed.
By the government. Not so
stage managed by the government.
Yes.
So if it was stage managed by the government, do we still praise the jury?
No. If they say stage managed in the sense, say the story was concocted.
Thank you very much.
It was concocted. No, they can't. He not say the due process. No, they can't. He did not say the due process. He did not say the due process was stage managed. He said the story at the onset was concocted. So there was not even a case. Now, let me answer your question. Now, before you hastily commend the president for sacking the Attorney General.
I wasn't commending the president.
No, okay, before the nation, those who wanted to come, who already, because I've saw it's trending on Facebook that you did well. Now, let me say this, okay? The press, until it is clear the reason for the sacking of the Attorney General, we will not comment. Because why? Evidence glaringly suggests that the government is not happy with this verdict and they will not take it lying down. Hence the arrest of Mr. Kalon, the guy who sequestered the jurors. Okay? Because had they believed that the people have done their duty, they would not have arrested Mr. Kalon. And then in turn, they sack the Attorney General. And now they're questioning the competence of the chief prosecutor, Fisher, being an imposter. Now, let me tell you, it is a deal gone bad. I have to say it. The president sat down. He thought that every box has ticked. All state operatives, all the rogue operatives are on duty. He thought all the rogues operatives are on duty. Everything ticked. Considering the militancy by which Paolo is escorted in court, the embarrassment and everything, and even the problem the defense is having with the trial in terms of admitting evidence. Listen, about the CCTV camera, we've all been in courts of law. What the government, if they were citing state security, it would have been a chambers hearing. The learned judge should have asked both lawyers to approach the bench and go to their chambers and watch the CCTV. They did not. They relied on the evidence was so inconsistent. They were saying the CCTV was unavailable. Some say because of state security, and one witness said lights not been there now, State House. And then you say lights not been there, and then you say Paolo want dodge the scanner. So if you want dodge a scanner, what will power the scanner? Waiting in the power the scanner. If the lights not been there at the CCTV, waiting power the scanner where Paolo be one dodge. So all this inconsistency, a jury properly directed wherever in the world will not convict. So
thank you, Mr. Sesay. I
just want to tell you, say, until we get unclear, if the president in turn say, I am sacking the Attorney General for bringing a case that they not before don't bring at the first instance, then we go applaud and say, yes, sir. But again, now inside your office, you chief of security back. Now you concoct this story. You guys, they put up signs that says guns are not allowed in these premises, that we are not there before the commissioning of the crime. That is tampering with evidence, okay? Inside the office, now they come inside the office of the president. So if you say the president cannot go blameless in his office, in his purview, in his auspices, they try for tamper evidence, and then the president, okay, let's say president is so busy, he don't even know what's going on. And I won't get on that comment there, okay? But let us say if we are to jubilate for a competent judiciary, you not go do them on the back of 12 noble citizens. Let the judge say, now in sentence, regardless of the public pressure, Paolo is an upright citizen before, he's now convicted. He don't serve 1 term. 2, because of public policy, which is very important in making decisions. We're just waiting, Mr. Thonkla said earlier. Because of public policy, 1, overcrowding prison. 2, the bad state of the economy. I will not overfill the prison. You have the chance to give a penalty sentence instead of a custodial sentence. He went ahead and gave a custodial sentence. And even the custodial sentence, he gave a concurrent, a consecutive instead of concurrent.
Concurrent, yes.
So
Mr. Sesay, again, and I can't tell you, Mr. Thonkla, I'm not saying you're rating Mr. Sesay, don't say. And yes, this is the point. 2 sides of a coin. 2 sides. On one side, there's a big hoo-ha noise. Big hoo-ha noise. Say, well done to the president. On one side, there's a big hoo-ha noise saying, well done to the jury. On my side, I'm saying well done to nobody.
Okay.
On my side, I'm saying well done to nobody. Hold on. I'm saying well done to nobody. And there's a reason why I'm saying well done to nobody.
Okay,
and
that's fine.
I'll allow you, Mr. Thonkla, to go forward with that submission the way you want to give, based on the question I asked Mr. Sesay. Then we're going to tell you why I will not praise the jury and why I'm definitely not going to praise the administration. And then we take us to the next round. Yes, Mr. Thonkla.
Thank you very much. I mean, I think it's a very important now any democratic dispensation. Now, when we allow the 3 arms of government, the rule poster freely with no infringement from either side. One thing I always advocate as well is still a criminal justice system or even the justice system, because we get about the general law and the customary law. We need comprehensive reform. We need comprehensive reform. Starting from the point. One thing we have been talking in 2017. See, there's no way the police officer they arrest and charge the court. So they arrest and charge and prosecute. No.
No.
He gets a malice of against the accused.
Yeah.
The police investigate the arrest, then they charge the court. They will get a body when I will call the Crown Prosecution Service for prosecute. That you don't split.
We get that in Sierra Leone, the DPP.
We don't split the responsibility. If the police get any malice against the accused, they prosecute him. No malice against them. So they'll get a fair trial, right? So he said one fundamental way. He said this is the moment of watershed for the government of Sierra Leone. Those way they talk on social media about this case, they are a bunch of jokers. This you don't make a black hole in our legal system. This is a case where they always refer to when the case come up, right? How the government handle the case, how the government sees the civil liberty of innocent Sierra we have to be a high-profile citizen, right? So if in the time you say this is a moment for hail, now justice system, I don't differ. Disagree. Given that we punish somebody, we punish this person will punish, not a person will just walk inside State House. He was asked by the office of the president for attend a meeting with them to fight a national disaster. When a global pandemic, this man go there, then all of a sudden end up behind bars with these liberties. That on its own, it doesn't create a fear. Any other opposition party, when I come APC, anybody, that will even damage the national cohesion. We will fight. We need to see. Listen, our president, this is not fun, but that was mean when it comes that. I will point it out. I will say it out. I want the government and opposition they in cordial relationship work together. But how can we be this longer? Where one comrade hand up behind bars where he nearly lost his life? Because at that issue, rock band as we are, that today Paul is dead.
Let me read the comments before you continue. The next person continue. Simba Cole say defense team did not put a strong argument. This case did not have any merit. It said this case did not have any merit for treason. The AG is gone. That says it all. And some people then they give comments as well. And Mr. Ahmed Conteh say no case, Alumac, whether BO wants guilty verdict or not. And then Ahmed Conteh say 0 chance, and I am not surprised he fired the AG. And then Michael Thomas say, let's not forget those treason trials happened during the dark days of politics. That is the cases that Mr. Alumac was referring to. This particular treason trial, the whole world was watching. Had they found Paolo guilty, it would have been a disaster for it has been a disaster for Sierra Leone. The international community is watching. And then Simeon is saying, Yamata is saying, well said, Mr. Ahmed, a deal gone bad against the falling power government. And then Simeon is commending facts. And then Yamata is also complimenting Mr. Thonkla for articulating the facts. So go on, Mr.
And this comes beautifully, these comments come beautifully to me position. And my position is not based on partisanship. It's not based on, my position is purely based as a patriot. I'm not accusing anybody of being partisan. As a patriot. And I am saying this categorically. And the reason why I'm saying this, me not a kudos this juror. Neither am I going to kudos the president or this administration. And like, why I'm going to kudos this juror. Me, Alusine MacFoy, being of a sane mind as I am, not believe, and like I say, if this becomes real, it is a watershed moment and a moment in time in the history of Sierra Leone. I'm not convinced. So these 12 jurors just decide for acquit on all 11 charges of treason. They find guilty on 2 counts of possessing a firearm illegally.
So waiting at conspiracy theory.
I don't believe that because throughout the history of Sierra Leone, I not say I happen it. I not say I happen it. And guys, hold on there. I will not commend this government because this was a case that should never have been.
Are you inferring that the jury is biased? I want to get a clear as they go. Okay.
This government, this trial should never have been. From the onset, it was never a treason case. Evidence provided from the beginning of this case never pointed in the direction of a treason. The reason for go to treason and charge, whether it was incompetence or political malice or grudge, I do not know. So what we need in terms of public policy is for this government to come out and speak to its citizens. And the new Attorney General will make a statement based on the verdict, or the director of DPP say the reason, this is a public interest case, the reason why we charge this case to court, what could be believed that because A, B, C, D, E, F, G didn't exist. That we need. But until that is done, I do not believe this was a case for treason. So I will not commend this government for them 2 reasons. The reason Mr. Sesay will not believe, say, this jury just acted upon their own, because I'm not going to kind of trust in the judicial system. I not believe, say, 12 man and woman that's alone, where go able to stand up to a government and the president will want a president will want a verdict, you know, get them. And if that's the case, this is a watershed moment, and it has happened. And whether we like it or not, you cannot praise one thing and leave the other. And this is my fairness.
But Alia, you did applaud the president for not interfering.
Mr. Say, we spoke about
And
I come to that conclusion. If this verdict, as you guys are saying, this verdict is the juror's verdict. It was never, it was the deal with free will. I will say thank you to that president, because it will be the first president in the history of Sierra Leone who not one. And let us be frank and honest with it. It will be the first president in the history of Sierra Leone who not one. And that is why I'm saying that. So the reason why I will say to you, based on this argument, I will not praise this government. I will not say this is the watershed moment for the judiciary. Neither do I believe this juror acted in the interest. Payamba says something very important. Don't talk, I do not mean. Payamba says something very important. He said this is a setup, this is the result of the one based on the pressures, Mr. Say, Yusuf say, from the international community and from what the community they say. What the international community wants, they look and say this case was so biased, was never a treason case. If you convict, you will lose X, Y, and Z. If you convict this man, you will lose this. And so the government purposely not push for guilty verdict.
Mr. MacFoy, let me guide you. Do not be surprised if you woke up tomorrow morning and learn that the prosecution have filed an appeal. And then you will come back, Naya, and try for record your words and back.
No, I will not record my words.
Not hastily, no, they can. Do not hastily say they favor the verdict. If they favor the verdict, they will not have sacked the Attorney General. They can't have it both ways. If then they try to get this verdict, no, they come with your theory. If they try to get this verdict for alleviate pressure from the international community and just bury the hatchet, in other words, forgive them a natural death, they will not have sacked the Attorney General. It will have been business as usual. Now, let me tell you, the way this government is run, let me tell you, the way this government is being propelled, the learned senior Attorney General was under immense pressure because there are people beneath the organogram of this government that are calling the shots. For instance, if the Minister of Internal Affairs or other senior operative want it this way, they will not look at the professional dimension. They will just say, do it now or you face the X. Okay? Now, I agree with you. All the points where you say clear, there was never a case, yes. The evidence no get weight, yes. But let us just be careful for conclude, say, then guy not go come back with an appeal because that guy still there. I was never saying that. That guy still, the guy still there, and CID, the guy who sequestered the jury. Okay, so now in my little knowledge in criminal law, when this happens, usually the prosecution is trying to raise a case of jury tampering and a retrial, a mistrial. They said they tamper with the jury. So whosoever thinks, say, let we get this guy away. Until they release her without a charge, or they tell you what they hold her for, now we just left that side they open first, and then we have another day for come back and comment on that.
Absolutely, you know? I agree with you, and I say it again, I'm not to say this government, but I am raising the possibilities of what people are saying and what you yourself are saying, that the jury of 12 men and women of his own peers, without interference, without anything decided, that this man was not guilty based on the evidence presented to us, irrespective whether the president wants, whether the people there, the internal affairs minister be want, whether anybody be want.
Will your answer differ? Okay, let's ask Payamba this. Payamba, let's ask you.
Okay, go on.
Let's ask you, please, Payamba.
Okay, go on.
You are waiting, Mr. MacFoy say.
Yeah.
You answer before differ. If the verdicts before go the other way, the treason verdicts, in other words, the government, the prosecutor win. You before say the government interfere. Talk to. What you before say?
If the answer for me go the other way.
Yes.
Ahmed, as I say earlier on, to me, and
because now when the verdicts go your way, you say genuine, you praise the jury, not to so.
Yes.
If you can go the other way around, you mean for say government interfere.
Yeah, Ahmed, to start with, I just believe say there is no case at all. I make always I draw reference to the one born with a man they own as to oppose to the 150 well-armed men. And two, I may believe say the surveillance system gets days where they expire. Now 26 days, maybe they don't know that. I don't do the research. After 26 days, what you don't happen, they will record again. Now after every 26 days, maybe they not be get a clue. Say now 26 days, they will record. Maybe, I don't know. Okay, but for me, I feel say technology don't improve so much in the world. It don't so much improve that say, that's why I know say there is a case. Instantly, they don't download the case and keep them for reference because one, they say the West interference, then they afraid the West. Even if they afraid the West or the West they interfere, why they go put Paolo in a prison? If you really afraid of, this is my own question. If you really these guys are afraid of being persecuted or being harassed by the West, why should they imprison Ahmed and Paolo or Sylvia or any political? Because I believe say they come, they inherit a peaceful government, a peaceful country. After the devastating war, will not get no more problems.
The question Mr. Sesay asked was a simple question. It asked you, say, if this verdict, if Paolo was found guilty on 11 counts as charged, will you have praised the jury?
Now I can tell you, say,
that's the question. Will you have praised the jury?
It is not about jury, no jury, no jury. To me, I tell you, they still insist there is no case in this.
No, but the case already go to court.
I don't believe in that.
The case already go to court. I don't believe in
that. Trust me, I'm telling you the truth.
Mr. Thonkla, come in, please.
I don't believe there is no case at all.
Mr. Thonkla, come into that question in.
Listen, one thing we will not discuss, the government has still add up. The ground is dry.
You business. Wait a
I all back, one give money. They don't set the prerequisites. What are the prerequisites? Paolo case probably none of them. Say this is a fair case. All political prisoners should be released. So the government will say, add up your money, and these are preconditions that must be met. Because these are all Atiwa and all the CC, IMF, all these investors, they get preconditions when they make for invest in a country. One of human rights, democracy, civil liberties, etc. So if this case here don't become a high-profile case, you don't know how far it goes. So
Mr. Thonkla, 1 minute, sir. 1 minute, sir. Just hold on 1 minute. Yes, I believe say, Mr. Bangura, sir, I believe say what they attract investors now stability, sir. Stability. Very, very significant. And what they go on Sierra Leone, the arresting of political prisoners in a signal a good image to the outside world. It really is counterproductive for the country. But they can inherit a very peaceful state. Why they arresting? When I left arrest, when I concentrate on building the nation, that is what I'm against. I don't care whether APC, if the APC do they attack them. Me, if APC do they can't be all SLP. I don't like it. Me, I believe in peace and let me just live as one peaceful nation. That's what I believe. I don't like that arresting at all. Don't like any APC wants to go at the top. That's what media. I don't care.
Fight me. But what I'm like now, the government, but there are but I get the move.
You are breaking, Thonkla. I can't hear you.
I SFP, they the phone and the Zoom.
Man, they don't touch your phone. I don't know what they don't do you. They hear you.
Why there?
Not in a phone. Mr. MacFoy, well, over to you. This man, they don't touch your phone.
You say to Mr. Thonkla, they say, Mr. Sesay, I come back to you. Yeri Payamba, Yeri Mr. Thonkla, he said something. Today, you say something, Mr. Sesay, and Mr. Thonkla don't say something. And despite how we want to beat around this bush, we get to look at this from a historical perspective. We get to look at this and speak about it from the context of the country where we know as Sierra Leone, not from the context of the United Kingdom, not from the context of the United States of America, not from an European context, but from the context of the nation where we know as Sierra Leone, from the judicial practices and the system of governance in the country. Mr. Thonkla, don't answer me question. the government not get money. It get people there where they determine how it will behave. If it not behave, that funds will not come through. And this is why I will not give credit to a 12-man juror. Here comes my point. Here comes my point. Thank you, Mr. Thonkla, for that. Here comes my point. I will not, and I'll say it here, and let everybody hear me well. I will not give credit to a 12-man juror for that verdict. I firmly believe that verdict came from somewhere else. As Mr. Thonkla so well articulated that verdict day, it came from somewhere else. So when you say there was no interference by government,
you cannot.
There was interference by government.
You cannot have it this way when you have arrested Sylvia Blyden in a flagrant violation of human rights without a scintilla of evidence, and then you have about George Williams, and then you have about George Williams in a case they can. And then you have so many political dissidents in prison, and the one person will be for save you there, you go give them a charge where get so much error, where you even charge this person for unlawful possession of arms and greater ammunition, and then the authority will issue them, you release them, then go scot-free, and you think the international community, you don't impress them for right to check. Whosoever they think that way, they again for think back, say, we not, because it just sounds like where you need a 10 for pass, and then you sit the exams, you pass, you only answer 3 questions, you left the 7. Then you hope say you go pass. If now that's how they think, then they just answer 3 questions out of 7. They don't even attempt the 7th question, because until Koita, about Williams, and Darami, and then Sylvia Blyden, until all these people get equitable justice, because they all know their own Sylvia on these crimes with no scintilla of evidence. Only you have a picture of the former president, and you have the audacity for 10 dirham. How stupid do you think we are? For 10 dirham, a picture frame. Now they can. And then you think, say, the international community, they only judge you only in the Paolo in case. They're not they judge you in other aspects of the cases. And then that will not be this. That is why I will not subscribe to your theory. I cannot take
that
this.
Was not my theory. That was not my theory.
I cannot.
Tonkla's answer. That was not.
No. He was not alluding.
No. I will disagree with you on this.
No.
I asked a question. He gave me an answer. And
it's not definite.
I asked a question to Mr. Thonkla. He gave me an answer, and the answer he gave me was, despite what we think, this verdict not only a verdict will come out, but there was international pressure on this verdict.
He said it could be. Don't be certain. It could be.
And exactly. And
right. It could be.
With me, and then they suppose, and they say it could be this, but you are saying it could not be this. It could be definitely this.
No. I they look at the waters.
None of us can definitely say this is A, B, C, D, H. Why? Because we're not privy to the undertones. We're not privy to the nits and gritties. All what we're doing, we're saying, this is how I think. This is how I feel.
But listen.
What I feel, my feeling and my thinking does not necessarily mean it is right.
Naturally.
Don't necessarily say right. Mr. Thonkla in feeling and thinking, let me say right. Mr. Yamba in thinking and feeling, let me say right. What we're doing here is we're giving we're critically looking at all the issues, and with a well. That don't mean say somebody support the government or somebody support the government. Or that don't mean say because you move to this level, that means you're praising this government. No, what it simply means is we're actually discussing and debating really why this decision, and that's the important thing. We're not even talking about the life of the man who was threatened, which was wrong. A citizen of the Republic of Sierra Leone was falsely and wrongly accused for one of the most heinous crimes of the state. And that is an unforgivable act by anybody. And we must say it, and we must say it outright. And I have been forthright from the beginning. The charge against Paolo Conteh was not right. It was wrong. The charge of treason, where a man they lost in life, where a man they lost in liberty, a charge will lead to people that ordinary citizens die now with country. I think the president has a lot to come to us as a citizen and speak to us. I believe if we look at the way you look at Mr. Sesay, and I want to wholeheartedly look at, say, this is a jury of 12 men and women, don't consciously make a decision, say, Sierra Leone, it's enough, enough is enough. We will stand against tyranny, we will stand against oppression. I am saying, by my God, this is the most beautiful moment.
No. Mr. MacFoy, it doesn't, no.
Not guilty.
The jury, I differ. Let me say this. When the jury retire, the job of the judge is not to make the verdicts. The judge of the role of the judge is to direct the jury. And the judge said to the jury, he said, the crime where they charge Paolo, he forget this element. Say, Paolo for actually prepare, say it can overturn way before. And two, if I set out with the motive, say it go, like he go bulldoze for go down. And then thirdly, if forget the aim for assume the position or for take this position. He said, when I go sit down now in a room, if na so Paolo do, na find and guilty. If not just so do, na find and not guilty. So any jury way direct so, even if they want favor, the judge himself, the learned judge, he did well in addressing the jurors. The learned judge, no, they can. He did well in addressing the jurors. No, listen. On the treason.
You're contradicting yourself.
No, listen. You're not listening. You're not listening.
I am listening.
I say on the treason, on the 2 counts where they acquit, the judge err. Mr. Payamba, you are here. You guys correct me if I'm wrong. I said on the 2 count, he err. On the other count, the remainder of the count, he direct the jury because I read in sum up. You understand? He say a long, but in summing up where he directs the jurors, he say he even mentioned the coup of Kai. He even mentioned the coup of other people, how it take place, the precedent.
Yeah.
So he said, if this coup, if he by like waiting, these other people let me do, he said, we not convict.
If you're not feedback, not convict.
If you're not feedback. So the jurors, I not feel saying a government pressure, I not feel saying anything. Now, based on the guide where the judge give they say, now at the camp, we not go do so. Except otherwise, if the judge been guide them inappropriately and they go retire with a verdict, otherwise then will be for say. But me personally, I will never take it to these 12 noble and upright citizens of our land. We give confidence to the other people because they were pending trials that we all believe they were politically motivated. And you have, listen, in the court of law, you have the option. The accused, then they give the option, they come in capital offenses. The accused is given the option, whether for trial by jury, if you want the trial by judge alone or by jury. And I should say, any, like the Abat William case where they come up, if they get another jury of 12 noble, upright citizens, properly directed, they will equally not convict.
Mr. Sesay, and fantastic. Why I say the contradiction? I'll tell you why you see the contradiction. There were 2 charges here, 11 counts or whatever, 13 counts, 2 charges. One for gun possession, the other for treason. You're happy with the decision made by 12 jurors, and you held them for say they're not found guilty on 11. But then those same jurors
14.
Oh, wait. Those same jurors are the same juror when fined and guilty on possession of an illegal firearm.
No. Well, I'll tell you how they go. No, how they tell you. No, you ask me, I'll tell you how they go. I'll clarify something. They talk, I'll clarify. Because in the court of law, now they come. Every count, the court, they address the juror, waiting there for do. No, at the camp, there is no not like in totality. Every count, and they tell the juror, every count. So not to like say now one grain address for the 16 counts. Count. So on count number 14 and 15, we believe strongly say they were not addressed appropriately.
Mr. Sesay, and this is where the biasness comes into the conversation. This is where the contradictory nature of the conversation comes in. If you agree, say on the first charge, on the treason charge, if you agree, say the judge direct properly, Why would you say the judge addressed wrongly on the second one?
Okay, let's for that reason we have filed the appeal. No, they come. That question, the time they go. I go give you the case now. They come. We have 11. I go give you the case. The reason why we say so because it doesn't matter. I go show you the reason, the errors. Don't feel say the error.
Your submission. You're saying the landed judge in his submission to the jury.
On count number 13 and 15.
Let's make it easy for we audience. We're not legal minded. Me, I go law school, so I get legal minded. So I can understand what you talk. But so there's something they listen to we. We don't understand what technology.
Yeah, 5 minutes.
So easily in 2 ways. One for treason, the other simply for possession.
We only have 5 minutes for wrap up. So let's get 1 minute, Mr.
Thonkla, I go to you. This jury.
No, 1 minute. The DJ don't tell. The producer don't tell you. Get for talk about Bonnie Mac in week. Yes. This is the Bonnie Mac week via. So we get for talk for that. So please stay tuned before we na the left week for long. I know say with an 5-year anniversary. We'd encourage people and for actually go really Bonnie Mac playing songs, post on Facebook and contribute to Bonnie Mac. So please, viewers. Before we close, will they come back there? So the producer say we have 5 minutes. So Mr. Thonkla, Mr. MacFoy don't give the tone.
Mr. Thonkla,
1 minute.
You're waiting, Mr. Sesay. Waiting on your submission. This Paolo case is going to be live. It's going to be discussed for centuries for our children and grandchildren and our grandchildren. But we don't begin at today. We don't talk about them, and it's good that we don't talk about them. Mr. Thonkla, waiting now you summarize.
Yeah, 1 minute. 1 minute.
Why not 1.5? So you go,
90 seconds. 90 seconds. Starting now, Mr. Thonkla.
Okay, 90 seconds. Keep time, Mr. MacFoy, please.
I'm doing that now.
What in conclusion, this case is an elephant in the room. The elephant in this case is the government. That is the justice system in Sierra Leone is free from interference, and they say that person is a joker. Right? The reason why this case go how it go because of the international pressure. The president gets pressure. He get pressure within the party. He get pressure within the international community. Some members in the party want Paolo dead. While Paolo is a British citizen, a citizen of United Kingdom, and the Republic of Sierra. So there is an immense pressure on the government to set him free because they look at they don't weigh the evidence. Case in only this case that the most laughable case ever, right? So I don't go far. This case, in no sense, now we enough stop because the man who lies in the gun was free. Why would not arrest? This man who lies in the gun now because I lied in. But now free a whole this is a legal job. Period. Good night.
Thank you, Mr. Yamba. Mr. Payamba, sorry.
Okay, sir. Okay. I feel say the president is surrounding himself with a lot of psychopaths, sadists, people the way they believe say nothing or not believe now for revenge or avenge. In this case, we not get no revenge in Sierra Leone. The president, I know him personally, my brother and my friend, he's a very nice person. But they are the one the way they would him, we believe say that we don't do them bad. When they would turn and they push him for what it happen. So this is what I am against. To me, I feel say Paolo this in case, in over reach you say reach you. And but don't settle him because the man go for go help. And they say collectively we can achieve results. They cannot go it alone. They need everybody on board. This is about Sierra Leone, this is about our development. So why would they try this is not segregation, not an alienation, enough good. This man come for make sure say we all work in a very solidified way so that cohesion will take place. So to me, I believe say the case of Paolo, all water at all, nobody there like when we talk about say, nobody at all, and Mr. Bola by the idea nobody. This is stage managed, and they were good for the country. The outside world they look. Any day when they go in prison, it's not helping. When I stop the imprisonment. And when I not look way for ways we go develop Sierra Leone. Look at the health issues. Let's look at education. Make we look at employment. Make we look at agriculture. How we go able to feed ourselves rather than only the brother put on a prison. This even an APC do me, Abdul, they oppose you. Trust me, I don't believe in that. I believe in oneness and togetherness. And when we work as family, Sierra Leone will compete. Now, if you compare Sierra Leone to Ivory Coast, we are like a village. If you compare Sierra Leone to Senegal, we are like nothing. Look at Rwanda. We had war together. Rwanda no get nothing. Diamond nothing already. Nothing already. But today they are advancing. They are going technologically, economically, socially, politically. They are very strong, powerful. Why would they emulate Uganda?
Okay.
Why would they emulate Rwanda?
Okay, Mr. Ahmed, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr. Abdul Payamba. Thank you, Mr. Payamba, for that passion. Mr. Sesay, I'll give you last word. Let me come in for me 90 seconds. I'll give you last word. And the reason why we give you last word today, I introduce Bonnie Mac for we. Me, I say, the tell Bonnie Mac me there, I've done my mind about it rap at the hide. You know, so let me put that name. And Bonnie Mac, me no say, in case you don't know them, I call it Bonnie Mac.
Wow, DJ MacFoy.
So that's why they can't talk about Bonnie Mac. But I just say this. This moment in the history of the country, it will be a sobering moment. And it will be a sobering moment to leadership. And me, let's talk to me, President. And I know why I say let's talk to the President. Mr. President, when we elect you in May, in 2018, when we elect you for govern a nation. We elect you for a new beginning, for a new purpose. Mr. President, there have been errors made in your administration. There have been loads of miscarriage of justice made in your administration. There's been wrongful and illegal arrest of your fellow citizens. And the one way you take an oath for protect. Mr. President, I always say, and I'll always say this, your legacy, na you. Because of the arrest of Paolo Conteh, we don't lost the lives of, we don't know how many of we citizens them, and nobody no ever speak to we people them. Then mama them, then papa them, they cry. The nation, they cry. Do I beg you, Mr. President, H.E. Julius Maada Bio. These are the term for let you grab, let you team up. You have made mistakes, and I'll be wrong to say you have not made those mistakes. I'm not going to do you this. I'm not going to do a service to you and to the nation and to the Republic of Sierra Leone if I tell you you don't make mistakes. The trial of Paolo Conteh, the charge of Paolo Conteh, the death, the catastrophe where it all lead to, it all happened under your watch, and this would be a stain like legacy because it will always come back to you. Then say where you like person, you tell them true, you know they hide from them. Those around you, if they care about your legacy, they care about your presidency, they are patriots enough about the Republic of Sierra Leone, as I am patriot and passionate about that country today. Mr. President, I'm not going to advise you wrongly, but they have been doing it. This is the time for you to separate yourself and stand up and be the leader where we elect. The leader where they take the lead, where they take the decision, where they allow for the ring fence, where they allow for the school, where they allow for let people that your agenda dominate the agenda where it been given, an agenda of a new direction, of a prosperous union, who said the liberty and freedom of all will be guaranteed, who said opportunities will be created. Mr. President, this acquittal and this trial and this rearrest, if it is confirmed that the Maui Joy has been rearrested, Mr. President, you get the opportunity for you get the executive power. I don't care whether they call it presidential interference with the judicial system, but you, like the ultimate law of the country, you can able to step in and say, enough of this. Let us open a new page. And let this movement be a watershed movement for the Republic. My appeal to you, my President. Mr. Sesay, over to you.
Thank you very much, Mr. MacFoy. You see, before Payamba talk, I want to take me closing from Payamba. Now, you don't can snatch him. I did take the cue where you say for appeal to the President. Because why? Me say there is so much animosity within the SLPP for APC. We've not been there for the APC to the SLPP. The APC not been this vicious get animosity for the SLPP during the governance. Now, I cannot give the president's claim for a story way like which you say will not be feel say the case for even go further. So even if you go further, anything not meritorious because it not be for happen at all. Now, let me just during the APC, you know, there are 3 crimes we carry the death sentence. There is a murder, there is treason, and there is arson. That's alone laws. During the SLPP term, there was a case, an accusation of arson. Say they burn the party office Nabo. They arrest about 7 people. Okay, then try for conviction. But along the line, the president can say, they burn good Pekin. If we fasting for the pursuit then case here. Now it was a serious offense. So the president could not drop him. And we continue amicably because we all know, brother. I don't want the SLPP forget this animosity. Say, these guys don't hate us. Don't hate the people. Don't hate the opposition. Me and they beg. Let us work as a team. Salon now we all young. If we not today we begin embrace each other. We begin look at. I mean, anybody when accused of a crime, we thief. Me they encourage you now for smoke them out. Anybody will corrupt from the APC, una smoke her, una take her, let them put her, lock her. Once you find, you get evidence for find her guilty. Take any action, but do not hate the individual because this case is born out of malice and animosity, and it no go born good picking because why? If a future leader come, even if he wants sweep all thing under the carpet, the other operative themselves go rise. There's no point if we sit down at the same table, we eat and dine and talk, just like lawyers, just like members of parliament. When I meet up in a canteen, let us rule this nation without no animosity. Okay? But the desperation for see where somebody says something, you want to use power for silence them. In other words, you just say, give a blueprint how you want to be treated when you self-left power. You just say, make your own blueprint, you get them. Say, okay, all what they do to you when me left, that's what you go do to me. So me, I take the cue from Mr. MacFoy as well. Talk to the president. We're still, you see, I always say that the president is like a sea captain. You'll never give up hope on your captain when you're in at the high seas. When you're in at the shore now, you go and you cause adulting. And that is my policy. I'll never give up on my president on this part of his presidency. Every hour, every moment, I want him to succeed. And whatever I should do, within my power for support, for let president succeed, I go do them. But again, one thing I go never ever do when the truth day for say and not talk, I will say the truth. And when I see a case say it's not genuine, one knows say a case is this is a malicious prosecution. The method of cross-examination where the prosecutor do for go even ask Paolo for establish a motive, you they go tell and say you been there at this school. I mean, pull out from the legal sense, from the moral grounds, from in a brew animosity. Okay, you don't see the motive now. Say, oh, this is why you guys want to prosecute. So please, guys, let us live as amicable citizens. That's alone. Okay. Let us live as brothers. I want feel free for go book anima anytime. I want to if other party come to power, if my for instance Aluma come to power, I get in party, can be president. Let break now my 90. Why see me convoy break, we talk with I have friends in the SLPP, very close friends. In fact, if I go born now to me friends, me SLPP friends are the lodge. So is Mr. Thonkla. Is school na Kenima. So Payamba as well. Bo. So we all interconnect some kind of way. Mi mama na shebe madebona. You understand? So of course, you understand. Now they in mama go married. So if we begin scratch the bottom, we go get so much interconnection within the APC and SLPP. There, me they talk to the president. Let bygone be by. All the cases within a court. Somebody Ibrahim, one guy, eloquent guy from America. Continuously they plead to the president for drop this, the People Liberation Movement. He's releasing eloquent videos, audios. They continue for appeal to the president for forget all this malicious prosecution. So please, then on that note, we'll close this program. We'll be back again on Monday. But before I go, before I say thanks to Mr. DJ Little, when are the producer, and Pasori, when are the architect, when are the director of this program as well, Pasori Bangura. and all the team na diaspora. I want to take this opportunity for remind you now of a legend now in society when a Bonnie Mac. When they do, then they do a 5-year anniversary. So, but there is, if you now check Diaspora Voices, you go give a flyer on the details of the event, more information. But we want for showcase with talents them. We want for showcase people that we don't meaningfully contribute now with society. And one of the few recording artists them we go where record in the UK in those days, we get quality music and album, who is well known within the African community in the UK, when a Bonnie Mac. So once more, I want to use this opportunity on behalf of the Voices for more extend condolences to a family and telling family, the Mokomok family, say, we always stay with them and we're grateful for let the Mokomok family produce a talent like Modupe Bonnie Mac. So they encourage Sierra Leoneans for play Bonnie Mac, post on Facebook, say something that you know about the late man, the legendary man, and then join the celebration in the end. So if I reach your side once more, DJ Little, we're so grateful what you they do for the community. We're so happy. You stay late, you work late, and everything, you they strive. And so far, that's why our Voices recently we pull an audio on immigration, on law. So as time they goes on, will they bring other experts? We go can tell you on recruitment like Mr. MacFoy when a specialist. They'll go bring already you get a medical when Aisha Sesay where they tell you about the medical area. And once in a while, Mr. Thonkla have go come from a legal perspective. And we have a sociologist on board as well. We go can tell you about behavioral patterns and how we behave among ourselves. Not to I would say not go bring but Freud in theory way are not subscribed to. But anyway, I just want to tell you now, thank you for watching this program. Till we meet again, we just want to say bye-bye and thank you very much for viewers. Michael Thomas, your contribution, Yamata Abdul Blah, Siri Fona, Mata Sesay, Simba J. Cole, Simeon Conteh as well. And Abbas Bundu Kamara, we want to see you back next week. DJ Little, thank you, Med Conteh, Ahmed Fofana, all of you guys, please tune in next week again because the topic will be very, very important. We go give an update on, we want the Khadija case, we want to let them charge her now to court, the trajectories, because according to the police this morning, they've made 3 arrests and one see when they charge them. But one thing what they say, the people that they arrest, the term don't elapse with and they hold them. The other side, then go file a writ of habeas corpus because the term don't go far away and hold them. But in the interest of justice, we be in the field say then go use holding charges for charge them for normally no political pressure, not make we flout the laws because now the trouble can begin. When they say political, the president get into it. No, get holding charges. If now common law charges, charge and force, where they can scrap those charges again and prefer real criminal law charges. Okay, so for each side, thank you very much, guys. You've been wonderful, and see you again next week. Sorry for ending the program late, but the debate's been so high, and we will take this model back next week. But we try for load down with more panelists because when we challenge each other, they become very generic and nice. So thank you very much, guys. You may leave as you wish. Thank you.
Thank you. Good night. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. DJ Little, give Bonnie Mac now. Lock Bonnie Mac now, DJ Little.
It's coming.
Lock Bonnie Mac now. I can dance. Don't put me no show side the dance.
Gonna get straight out this time. For a new place under the sun. I want sunshine. I want sunshine. I want sunshine. Every day. I want sunshine. I want sunshine. I want sunshine. Every day. She came my way, but I want her way, because I couldn't complain. So she went right after me, and it was same. She ran away, what was a shame. Nothing sweet song, you gotta tell me more. 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 But baby, she wanted us to see what she did back right. But I couldn't baby, she was looking for fun, was looking for money to carry on. Nothing sweet song, you gotta tell me more. 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 Said yes, my dear sweetie, me and you. So I asked if it's a pleasure, she said too true. So I said if you enjoy it, why should I pay you? Nothing sweet song, you gotta tell me more. Nothing sweet song, you gotta tell me more. Nothing sweet song, you gotta tell me more. Nothing sweet song.